Mojo 100.
Hi, Toby.
How you doing?
I'm good. It's really nice to have you here today. So how are you enjoying London?
Good so far. Cold. But yeah, so far so good.
I absolutely love Oya Pitch, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank
It's
you.
such a beautiful, beautiful show. Very educational. But I do want to know how that came about. Whose idea was it?
Okay.
And yeah.
It was obviously my idea. But I had to run it by a friend of mine who's also like a business partner. Shout out to Tobi, by the way.
Nigeria is blessed with a lot of entrepreneurs, but it also comes with its limitations, access to funding and also visibility as well. And for me, I feel like I can bring my wealth of experience that would basically guide these young entrepreneurs. As you also know, Nigeria has over, I think, 40 million small, medium-scale businesses in Nigeria today, right? And a lot of these businesses just need a bit of a push. And over the years, I've just understood that failure is not the end. And as a matter of fact, I think failure basically just gives you that push, you learn from it, and it just makes you better.
Right. So basically, I thought about it, and as soon as I spoke to him about it, he was like, oh, wow, that's really good. So basically what happened was we went out to a club in Nigeria, and we realized we had spent so much money on drinks. And so I was like, if I invest this money in a business, 1 year from now, 2 years from now, that money might probably be 5x. So that's how we came about. And we thought, you know what kind of platform can we basically build on to get this idea? Do you figure what I'm trying to say? So basically we thought, let's do Oya Pitch. And plus, while I was growing up, I used to watch like Shark Tank, Dragon's Den as well. And so that was the inspiration, basically. I think it was also born out of frustration as well. Frustration from seeing young people obviously try to build businesses and then it fails. Failing because they lack visibility and they also lack the funding for it. So energetic young people with great ideas, but they don't have the platform to like showcase those ideas. And I thought, why not build like a community where small businesses could basically showcase their ideas and put it out there for people to actually see and patronize them.
So this idea and the concept you guys have created, is it something that you can take out of Nigeria? Because there are a lot of us on this side of the world that have businesses that, you know, need funding, need visibility.
Yeah.
Is it something you want to scale?
Of course, but the focus now is Nigeria.
Okay.
And I think in the next year, we're hoping to basically go out of Nigeria, West Africa, the whole of Africa, and obviously diaspora, the US, Canada, and the UK for sure. But right now, the focus is obviously Nigeria. We need to solve our internal problems first.
Fair enough. For people who might not know you yet, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Who is Tobi outside of Oya Pitch?
I try to put God first in everything that I do. Downstream, power and gas. And that's really my day-to-day. So in the power and gas sector, you've got like generation, you've got transmission, you've got distribution as well, right? So
Sure.
I'm on the distribution side of things.
I didn't really understand that last part.
Okay.
Because that's not my industry.
I can explain to you.
Yes, please. That would be lovely.
Okay, great. So
The distribution part.
So the distribution part is basically like the last mile. And so when you generate power upstream, the power gets transmitted all the way to the house, right? The residential areas, all the commercial areas.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, my focus is to basically get Nigeria to a point where we enjoy 24 hours power.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And I think we're
lovely.
on that journey already.
You think you're there? You're not.
We're
It's
on
not
that
too
journey
ambitious.
already.
Wow.
I mean, it's not too ambitious. I think we can easily do that.
Amen. You
On
need
the
it.
right path.
Did you always see yourself becoming an investor, or is that something that happened by accident?
I wouldn't say it happened by accident, to be honest. I've always loved to solve problems.
What was your first ever business, and was it successful?
I think I learned how to be a businessman, obviously, through my mom. So my mom used to sell, kids' clothes. She basically had all the essentials, rather, for kids at the time. She had a store, and she basically traveled to Dubai and London and basically shop for stuff and bring it back home. And so I was in uni, and my mom decided to basically shop for students, right? So shirts, ties, shoes, and stuff. So she would bring it to school, and then I'll resell it to. So that's how obviously that started, and I started making some money from that, to a point where I think I had to. My dad stopped giving me call it pocket money, right? So I was basically surviving on my own.
What would you say has been your biggest achievement throughout your career?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think in recent times it's been the fact that I was part of a management team that basically led the divestment of 60% equity stake in Eko Disco. Eko Disco is is one of the utility companies in Nigeria. And so that transaction took about 2 years, and we're able to close at the end of 2025.
Wow.
The value of that transaction is probably the biggest, about $300 million, first of its kind in the industry. Yeah.
Well done. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's crazy.
Is it?
That's crazy. Is it not?
Dangote is closing bigger deals than Tony Lumini.
That's so good. Wow, okay. Well, be like Tobi and compare yourself to those people. What's something that happens behind the scenes that you don't think the audience would know?
Interesting. I think we argue a lot. So when I mean we, my co-hosts,
Okay.
we do a lot of arguing. Like, we argue a lot about ideas, about founders who've come to pitch. So a lot of arguing goes in the background. And I think preparation as well. We ensure that we get ourselves well prepared before we get on camera. We do a lot of preparation back end. But the arguments go first, to be honest. Like, there's a lot of arguments going on in the background.
And a typical day of filming, how long is that?
The whole day takes, I think season 1 took about 48 hours.
Season 1, as in like all the episodes?
Yeah,
I mean, it was a lot.
Yeah.
48 hours.
Yeah.
When someone walks into pitch, what's the first thing you're paying attention to? Their appearance or the structure of their business and their pitch?
The first thing
is, if we're going to be honest, right? What makes you sit up in your seat?
I think appearance matters, if I'm being honest. Because obviously how you appear to people is how you're received, you know? And it also speaks a lot about how you handle your business, right? I don't know if there's a saying, but they say, how you lay your bed is how you lie on it, right? So I think how you also appear is how it reflects on how you live your life, how you handle your personal business. If you come appearing like, I don't know, like a mad person, I guess your entire business is
Not
crazy.
necessarily.
That's what I think. And a lot of times I'm always right.
I hate you. I mean, but there's another side of things you could look at,
Yeah.
right? That if maybe this person isn't focused on their appearance, they're now focused on the business. They're focused on
to
growing
be
the
honest,
business.
I agree with you on that one,
Okay.
especially the tech guys, especially when they're in the building stage. I guess they spend a lot of time on the idea and trying to execute it. So yeah, I think we're right. But personally, I look at the appearance first. It tells me a lot, and I think most of all I need to know at first. And then you can try to convince me.
What drives you more? Money, impact, or competition?
I would say impact first.
Okay.
Competition basically fuels it. Money is the goal.
Wow. This man is in politics. Wow.
But
That was
impact will obviously be
great.
one of obviously the first thing. I've always loved to impact lives, no matter how small. I think that's what we're born for, to basically impact lives. However little, an act of kindness,
Yeah.
you know, good words, goes a long way.
Yeah, it does. Are you the type to plan date nights like you plan business meetings?
I schedule date nights like I schedule business meetings because everything just has to align, right? I need to know what your wants are, what your needs are. I need to be able to differentiate both. And so I know what kind of person you are. It just tells me a lot, to be honest. I don't even answer that question right, to be honest, because right now I'm just like...
You did, to an extent. So I want to understand, so you're not spontaneous?
To an extent, I am. To an extent, I am. In fact, I think I'm mostly spontaneous. I think, obviously, the spontaneous part comes when I'm trying to get to know you. The structure comes after I get to know you.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Of course I get what you mean.
Are you sure?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. What do you think I mean?
That later on in life...
But you understand why structure is very key?
Later in the relationship.
Yeah.
Right?
After the get to know you part.
I understand because it makes sure that you guys continuously make time for each other and get to see each other alongside.
Structure like, okay, we go on one date a week.
Yes.
As opposed to just when you feel like.
Yes.
I mean, that's also okay as well. But if you know that Friday nights, I'm going to dinner with Tobi.
If you treat your relationship like you treat your business, because that's all you can think about, I think your relationship will break down. I think if there's too much structure in a relationship, the relationship will break down. It's like humans, right? We have logic, we have emotion.
Yeah.
They need to work.
Agreed.
Hand in hand, otherwise one is gonna... So that's how I see relationships. If you're too disciplined, too structured, everything has to be like this.
So it goes back to what I was saying, right? It goes back to what I said. In as much as, yes, structure is important, I think there has to be a balance.
Yes.
Right? So, yeah, balance is the key.
Okay.
Do you agree with that? Or you just want to take structure out of it? I mean, it's good to be spontaneous, right?
No, balance is key. I actually do agree with you.
Balance is key for sure. I think I'm naturally a spontaneous person. I'm both, to be honest. And I know when to, to do which of both or whatever. Yeah.
What does success look to you right now?
Again, impact. I don't think I'm successful yet, but at the end of the day, I feel like just being able to impact lives. I have a few people who worked with me over the years, and just seeing where they are now, they've become leaders. That in itself gives me joy, and I think I can call that success because they're also able to impact other lives, basically.
Any advice that you'd like to give to
the viewers,
young men, viewers, people that are starting up businesses, what they need to prepare, what they need to look out for? Just anything.
I think
you
just two major things, to be honest. I think you need to figure out what you love or what you enjoy doing, and you just have to stay very consistent with it. Right? Because while you're consistent, you're going to fail. And so you don't want to fail and then give up. Right? So when you're consistent, you fail, you start again, you fail, and you start again. I think when you combine both, there's really no stopping. Like, you definitely get successful at whatever that is. And so, especially for young people in Nigeria today or, back home, I think just staying consistent with your dreams, staying consistent with what you love. Because obviously over time, before you realize it, like, you just see that, oh, wow, you're starting to do well. People are starting to ask about you, ask about your product. I would say lastly, you put God first.
Love that.
And you need a bit of luck as well.
It's God, it's grace, it's not luck.
Grace, right? I think you need a bit of both.
It's grace.
You need a bit of both. Staying consistent is obviously very key. I don't know what you want to call it, grace, whatever.
It's grace. It's hard work. I co-sign what he's just said, actually, because fair enough, that's like the business world. Just in
hard
any
work is
little
not
thing.
consistency, though.
Hard work.
It's not consistency. You can work
Okay,
hard,
I hear it.
hard
actually.
and hard and sweat, and still nothing comes out of it. Right? Smart work and consistency gets the job done.
My Lenin.
I think smart work gets the job done.
Yeah, I agree.
You also need to be street smart as well. You also need to know when to, make a U-turn, and try something else to make it work, right? And that's for me.
And what if you don't know when to do such things? Just prepare to fail, right?
Yeah, prepare to fail.
Fail forward.
And when you fail, you start again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Would you rather back a strong founder with an average idea,
Okay.
or an average founder with a strong idea?
I will back a strong founder with an average idea.
Why?
Because I think ideas evolve. And so if you have an average idea and you have a strong founder who's very connected to the vision, I'm happy to work with that. I'll pick that any day.
Okay.
For sure. As a strong founder, obviously you have to be transparent. You have to be honest. It's part of the values you need to be, you need to have rather as a strong founder. But like I said, ideas evolved. Your idea is not the only idea in the world. So even if you have a great idea, someone has done it before, right? I think as a strong founder, you need to be able to connect to the vision. And if I don't see that, then I wouldn't back you for sure. So yeah.
Okay. What's a red flag for you?
Red flag if you don't know your numbers and if you're very, very disconnected to your business. And I see that every day. A couple of those I saw obviously on the show. That's an instant red flag. You need to know your numbers as a business person, even in your sleep. Because that in itself is needed to be able to scale.
What do you mean by disconnected to your business?
So if you're not really into it, if you don't really have the passion and the drive to see you through, right? A lot of people obviously have ideas and they don't really put in the effort to raise capital, the effort to improve. They just run a business because they're just trying to survive. And that for me is, if you have a business, there has to be like a sustainability plan. You have to have a long-term goal. You have to be able to evolve, right? So, yeah.
When can we expect season 2?
I think later this year, probably July, same time.
Wow,
yeah, July.
exciting.
I mean, at least that's when it would start, but I think, yeah, mid-year for sure.
When
Just
you
the
would
goal.
start in what
Start
way?
filming.
Okay.
I think we'll put applications out May.
Okay.
And yeah, that'll be on all of our social media pages. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, Facebook,
Snapchat.
LinkedIn. But this has been fun for sure.
Yeah, it's been great.
I'm happy. I had an amazing 2025, and I think this year has a lot of potential already. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's go.
By God's grace.
Amen.
That's a wrap.
And that's it.